Have you ever panicked, realizing that half a year just flew by, exactly like a blink of an eye? Don't blame time. The real culprit is beating right inside your chest, secretly devouring your youth. When we were kids, a single summer felt like a whole century. Children would laugh and play endlessly on the merry-go-round, yet the sun still wouldn't set. But as you grow older, time ruthlessly fast-forwards. That rusty old clock in your eyes is, in fact, just a countdown machine. This process is exactly like driving on a highway. On the way there, your brain lights up, excitedly recording every new detail. But on the way back, because it knows the route, your brain just hits the fast-forward button. Scientists have discovered a desperate truth. After the age of 20, your perception of time starts to accelerate. And bitterly, it has no brakes. Those old photos you carefully flip through are actually just files hastily compressed into a bottomless digital space of your memory. Where does the past really lie? We always believed that time flows evenly for everyone. Dead wrong, until Albert Einstein stepped up to the blackboard and delivered a stinging slap to human perception. He proved with white chalk lines that the speed of time depends on how fast you are moving. That satellite flying near the space station experiences a completely different time pull than we do. The universe's greatest joke lies in these demonic gears. Let's try a crazy experiment. Place one clock on a high tower, another on the ground. Then launch a rocket. When the countdown ends, blast off at the speed of light over the neon-lit city at night. Do you know the result? Time on the rocket passes slower than at home. This is physical fact, not fiction. And here is where things get chilling. The clock hands you're watching, or that spinning Earth, their very nature of time can be completely distorted. That global GPS you use for driving, if positioning satellites didn't automatically correct time discrepancies every day, the system would route you straight into a river, or you'd be lost in another city within a week. Every time you open a map, you are actually activating a system that fights against the time-bending core of the universe. Our blue Earth dot might just be a byproduct of a black hole. Just like spaceships skimming past planets with massive gravity, the pull is so strong that a few brilliant hours for you amid the nebula equate to decades of endless waiting for those left behind. A bookstore in this era and a phone booth on another planet, though you think they happen simultaneously on the cosmic coordinate system, there is no shared present at all. There are billions of clocks floating on their own separate time lanes. The universe is inherently a chaotic mess. The spiral block of quantum mechanics has caused even the greatest physicists to tear their hair out. Stepping into this anomalous dimension, where clocks and historical flags are scrambled. Do you think the past is fixed? The delay choice experiment has proven. A quantum particle in the present is entirely capable of traveling back in time to rewrite the past. If the past can be altered, then is everything you remember even real? Scientists have seen through the truth behind these invisible time machines. In ancient pages, golden highlighted texts revealed the truth. Time is by no means an independent physical variable. Just as temperature is merely an illusion created by molecules, time is actually a byproduct generated by the gravitational pull of a black hole. Every change in the universe interacts with one another, flashing continuously, creating a membrane of illusion that deceives our perception. The universe has no concept of time. The truth lies in the lines of code inside your endlessly expanding brain. The brain is itself a bizarre biological clock. CT scans show that it doesn't measure seconds and minutes at all. It measures time by new information density. A child holding a magnifying glass, eagerly exploring the world, triggers billions of neurons, creating the sensation that time passes incredibly slowly. But as you get older, everything becomes too familiar. Lazy eyes and minds just skim over objects. Youth fades in sync with the depletion of dopamine. Experiments on mice clearly show high dopamine slows time down. Low dopamine means time will shrink and distort terribly. Every first time in childhood is a massive dopamine rush. But once the neural network becomes callous, those glowing blue spots gradually dull. The brain ruthlessly deletes those repetitive, mundane days. Even more terrifying, your memory is a master scammer. Psychologists have documented successful implantations of false memories into human brains. Just because of one misleading cue word, dozens of people swore they saw shattered glass with their own eyes in a foggy night collision. But the truth is, the scene was completely clean. Their memory automatically patched the error with an impossible script. We are exhausted shadows, always clinging to things that don't even exist. Nearly half the past you believe in is actually fake. Is it a blurry night fog or a pair of eyes trying to pierce through the illusion of time? Memory is, in fact, just an edited film reel. That childhood paper airplane launched straight into the vast Milky Way. Think it vanished. No, it's just flying into another timeline. Einstein left behind a legacy, towering like a stone monument in space. Past, present, and future are nothing but stubbornly persistent illusions. A meteor shower passes by, as brief as the moment your tiny hand first touched the world. We are all just passing guests. The clock hands relentlessly chase an endless white beam of light. They aren't measuring time. They are silently counting down the decay of your life. So, how do we slow it down? How do we make sand flow upward? Draw your own clock face with your own hands and open a new quantum gate. First, stop gluing your eyes to the TV screen in the dead of night. The earth is still spinning at night, but your youth has come to a dead halt. Every soulless minute you waste, invisible grains of sand still ruthlessly scatter across the surface of your biological clock. Look at the lightning flashing in the eyes of that workaholic. Do you remember the last time you worked with such intense focus that you forgot the entire world? Sitting on the bus of life, don't just mindlessly stare down and scroll your phone. You're voluntarily sacrificing your neurons to a cruel time machine. Toss away that hovering, pressure-filled clock and let your mind break free into the purple galaxy of new ideas. Step outside, treat yourself to a magical, auroral sky, or simply a peaceful chat by the lakeside. Dare to walk against the rushing crowd. Don't let yourself become a faded shadow amidst an endless stream of moving traffic. Learn a new skill. Set foot on an unfamiliar land. When you feed your brain's desert grid with unprecedented novel stimuli, the MRI scans will light up like a Big Bang explosion. That is when the neural network awakens your entire memory. And that old photo in your hand will no longer be a dead piece of the past. Albert Einstein still smiles in his historical portrait because he knew well, when the brain is illuminated, you are the absolute master of time. The Earth will keep revolving around the sun on its strict physical orbit. But the glowing clock in your mind has begun ticking to a completely different rhythm. This 3D simulated city cannot imprison a free soul. The silhouette walks into the distance, leaving behind the matrix of rush and anxiety. From the very depths of a profound black hole, you can unleash the most primordial energy waves to rewrite your life's script. The amber vortex will continue to swallow the uninspired. As for you, today will you choose to be devoured by time, or will you rise up to master it?